Hey guys, it's Nekia Nichelle, and it's Friday, so I got to do a flashback with my boy RL from Next. How you doing,
I'm
RL?
doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so happy you're able to sit and talk to me, today because it's been like years, and I'm like, dang, I would love to holler at RL for a little bit.
Well, it's all good. What's funny is you were talking to me directly, didn't even know it. So
Really?
yeah, yeah. That's why I was like, we'll just hit us when.
Oh, that was
later
you?
on, that was me.
Oh my God. Okay, I thought that was somebody else.
No,
that was funny
me.
as hell because when you said 5:15, I'm like, oh, is that the time? You like, nah, that's the name of.
I was born at 5:15 in the morning.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I try to live my life every day like I never had any success before.
Oh, okay.
So every day is almost like, I don't know if you've ever seen Groundhog Day, but he wakes up every day the same day.
Right.
And I try to work like I've never had any success like that. So that's why it's 5:15.
Wow. So you stay really humble.
I try to.
I
have
mean,
my moments.
Let's talk about, okay, back in the 90s, Too Close, that became such a popular hit. It's still a hit today. Like,
Yeah.
can you believe that?
You know what? Yeah, and it's funny when people say 90s because we came out like 97, 98.
Yeah, so
and
it was like,
but they group us, and there's nothing wrong with the other groups because I really look up to them, but I haven't hit 40 yet, so I'm still holding on a little bit.
really?
Yeah, I've been in the game. It'll be 20 years coming up.
So how old were you when you started?
I wrote Butter Love when I was 16 or 17.
Shut
We
up.
came out when I was like 19 going on 20, I believe.
Wow. See, I didn't
Yeah.
even know that. You look so much older back then.
And the blessing is they say I look the same, so
You do.
I'm going backwards. I hope I'm trying to hold
You
on
do.
a little bit.
You do. And actually, now seeing you in person, you look way younger than even
wow.
on your pictures on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, it's funny because I stopped. Well, I haven't had beef or pork in like 20 years,
Really?
but I stopped eating everything except seafood about 6 months ago because I get up Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday to go to the gym at 5 in the morning.
Do you?
Yeah, and I was getting like super like too big,
Stocky,
and I already
yeah.
got like my mama got long legs and a small torso and built like a spider. So people would look at me and be like, "Do you play football or something?" I'm like, "I'm getting too bulky," and then on camera it makes it look even bigger.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I've been really just trying to. Well, I can't say trying, but I'm probably lighter than I've been anytime in my 30s. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
I cannot believe like you're in your 30s. That's what's killing
Well, I'm
me.
at the end of. I'm 39, but yeah.
But still, like, I mean, there's cats that's like way older than you, and I didn't realize, when I'm dancing to the music, I'm like, oh, he's so cute, but he's so much older than me.
I would just manage. But to go back to what you were saying about music, for me, my cousin's Philip Bailey from Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh.
So I always said I wanted to make timeless music. So it got to be either about I love you, I miss you, I want you, or something fun. You know what I mean? So to be able to say we have a couple anthems under our belt is really cool. And then to be able to write for Jaheim, I wrote Just in Case and Anything. I wrote
Right.
Whatever for Ideal, Bring Your Heart to Mind for Luther. Usher, I wrote, Jamie Foxx, Forecast, just a bunch of different records. To be able to do that, that's probably the funnest part, because people will come to me all the time and say, so what are you doing now? Do you still sing?
Writing.
Yeah, well, I was always doing that.
Right.
And the difference is nowadays writers brand themselves. Like, you'll know this writer's name and this and that. Well, for me, I was in a group, so it was really about the group, and I tried not to talk about my other exploits outside of my situation, because nothing was bigger than the group, just like it is now. But now, certain people know that I've done other things outside of Next, and that makes it a lot easier, because I used to be jealous of the Neos and people like that, because I'm like, man, I was doing that. I've been writing for everybody,
Right.
But yeah, I'm happy.
But you created your own lane. I mean, I bought RL Elements when it came out.
Thank you.
I still have it at home.
Well,
I should have brought it.
What's funny is, this is how the situation happened.
Okay.
When the second album was getting ready to come out, Clive, matter of fact, no, Wifey was out, and Clive was leaving Arista, and LA was coming in.
Oh.
So we were like, oh wow, brother, he gonna know our stuff. And we went into a meeting with him, and he didn't even know any of it. And the album just came out. He didn't really, he was so busy getting acclimated to the whole company. But we're young, and we're like, oh, he don't even know our music. And then Clive, of course, has the person that brought us in, Clive Davis. So we decided to be loyal and stay with Clive. So they promised us that no matter what we decided, they'd still promote the second album. They didn't. So that's why after really Wifey, maybe you heard a little bit of Beauty Queen, but not really, because they weren't promoting it.
Right.
So I go into a meeting with Clive with a whole new next album ready, because what happened is I would go in my studio and go with different producers like KG and stuff, and we'd come up with the whole album and then go to the guys and we would go record it. I went into a meeting and Clive was like, it's too soon, you'd be fighting against your own album. He's like, well, let's work on your album. I'm like, for real? So I never had plans on doing a solo album, so we did it, but it was J Records was such a new company. They had like Product GNB, Alicia Keys' first album, Jimmy Cozier, Eric Serm, all these different artists, and everybody came out and no one knew about it because they didn't have a total team put together to promote and market.
Right.
So it just was, certain people that really, love R&B knew about the album, but a lot of people really didn't. So for me, it kind of hurt me because I loved like Good Man and a few records on it. I do. It was fun for me to do the album.
Do you feel then you didn't get a total chance to be a solo artist?
Yeah, but the funny thing is that was never. I suffered from low self-esteem since I was 5 years old. I tried to kill myself when I was a senior in high school. So I always liked being in a group setting. I felt like my group members protected me. But it was a great opportunity, and I was just following an opportunity, plus a boatload of money. And it wasn't something that I said, I want to go do a solo album. It was really like doing that solo album was like school for me. I had never really recorded by myself as far as a whole album. So I'm in the studio learning things and learning how to arrange, and it was like school. So I got paid to go to school. I'm proud of the album. There's certain things that I wish I could have done differently, but at the same time, regardless, if there's no marketing and promotion behind it, no one's going to know it's out.
What's one thing that you wish you would have done differently?
Musically?
I mean, just with the album. I mean, because since you were learning and there was mistakes that you made, I'm pretty sure that you felt you made, or you thought you listen to it now. There's things that I do and I'm like, God, why didn't I do this differently? You know what I mean?
I had the power to get whoever I wanted on my album. Probably would have got like a Brandy feature or something like that. I got to work with one of my favorites, who's DJ Quick, but I don't think we use anything from those sessions on the album. I would have done that, because what happens is when you're signed to a big label, they kind of push you to work with these producers or work with this person. Another thing that my biggest regret is probably not going in with KG, who discovered us. The truth is, the reason I didn't go in with him is because I respected the next sound so much that I wanted to kind of stay away from that. So what I did was, when I got my check for my deal, I had KG come meet me and I gave him $100,000 to say thank you.
Oh, wow.
Because even though he didn't produce on the album, that album was our album. That was probably the biggest thing. And it's funny because a lot of people will say, well, I can tell, certain records you wrote back then, like the Too Close and Wifey, or the Anything for whatever, or Anything or whatever for Ideal, stuff like that. The truth is, labels would call you and be like, I need one of those. And you're like, one of those? I need it Too Close. Yeah. And for us, or for me as a writer and an artist, I wanted to do something different. So really being able to do my solo album was really about me just experimenting and just learning myself as an artist.
Then you're here now in Chicago because, I mean, again, you're still writing, you're still doing your thing, you're in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I was supposed to come out there and interview. Do you remember me talking to you on Instagram? And we were just kind of talking about like me coming out there and interviewing you. So I'm glad you came out to Chicago.
Me too.
So
I'm from Minneapolis, so I'm representing.
Oh, that's what's up.
I'm Midwest.
Yes.
And my group members are from Gary, so.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
You said, I got the key to the city. You know what I'm saying?
So you're here tonight. Are you going to perform some classics? Are you going to keep it new?
Well, you know what? Those are, I wrote those records, so people will ask me, and the funny thing is, I remember a Babyface concert once. He just started singing different records that he wrote, and you're wait a minute.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do. So those records, they're next records, but they're also mine because I wrote them. So I always include everything. I try to make it a big party. Being back with the group, we're working on a new album.
Yes, I saw that. You guys are on tour. You're doing some dates.
Yeah, but we're like 16 records in. We're gonna do like 7 more just to see. But I want it to be like 18 songs, to be honest, just because cats will go in and do like 10 or 11 records. I'm really confident this is the best music that I've ever done in my life. We got Royce the 5'9" on a record. We're getting Ghostface Killer on a joint.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to get Big Crit on this one record, but the album is incredible.
Are you gonna do like most people have been doing, like EPs, or
Nah,
you're going straight?
This got to be
okay.
We decided to do the album first and then take meetings, but we're like, what happens is what happened with me is I would listen to the radio a lot and go, man, am I whack? Because I don't sound like this.
You are not whack. Yeah, you did not think that.
No, and I'm talking about nowadays. You'll listen. You go through. I call it musical menopause. Like, do you get to a certain age and you're looking in the mirror and you're like, well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the same thing musically, where you're like, well, I'm not doing all this, but then I'll look at other artists and they're trying to be relevant, and then they alienate their fan base. I remember one time I was younger, and I remember Freddie Jackson. I remember growing up, my mom would listen to him in the car, and I suddenly heard a record on the radio. He had a rapper on it, and I'm like, that's not your audience. But what happens is you start feeling like you have to chase something, and you really don't, because really cats that are selling, or Justin Bieber, he had the hottest R&B album out a few years back because he was doing what we should be doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, same thing with Justin Timberlake. Well, a lot of times we're trying to be, I'm not a gangster, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood, but I just want to make love music. I want all the women to be like, hey, and be getting their hair done, nails done, or in the car with their man, or, whatever, listening to my music. And a lot of times you start doubting yourself because you're hearing the radio and you're like, well, that's not really me. Like, I don't, and that's the hard part. You start feeling like you need to be something that you're not, and that's not what we're doing. So we wanted to put the album together ourselves and make it really hot, call in a few favors, get the hot producers and some new young fly ones, and put the album together and really have fun.
Well, I pray that you do not change, because for real, RL, there's moments that I put on Butter Love or what, and it literally takes me to a point that I can remember, and so, sometimes good memories, sometimes you know what I'm saying.
But you know what R&B albums used to be, where nowadays you'll buy singles. That's why they put out EPs, because they don't have the whole system. They don't have a whole plethora of records that they can put an album together that you'll go, because you can go on iTunes now and listen to different songs, and they know what they're not gonna like that. Well, I'm confident in all of the music that we're doing. So, we were always the little nasty boys, and now we the nasty men. So ain't nothing changed. So I was
gonna say, like 16 and thinking about, you got that Butter Love. Like, how did you even...
I grew up in a hair salon. My mother did hair, so I would be in there cutting hair sometimes. They had me at the shampoo bowls, and I would see how women would be when I would be massaging their scalp and all that. And it was like hands and feet looking at all that. And that's where I got it from.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I was like, ooh, he's nasty.
I mean, when you're that age, you kind of... It shapes what you like. And I remember growing up, and my mom would be doing her little nails and had them little things between her toes, and you would smell that little nail polish remover in the house, but then she'd come out and be boom boom, and it was like, I need a woman like that.
Like that. Okay, well, at least at 16 you knew what you wanted.
Of course.
And you went after it.
My mama was fly. I was like,
and then you wrote songs about it, and so you got it a lot thrown at you and everything. Like, that's how it works. A little bit. Yeah. You did it. Well, I could sit here all day, but I know you got to get to sound check for tonight.
I'm good. Whatever. I'm
for
chilling.
real?
Yeah.
I thought you have to be like.
I got. It's with a band and everything, but I'm chilling. It's whatever.
Okay, you cool as hell. I like it. All right. Very nice guy. Very humble you are. I love that. Thank you so much for talking to me. And you know what I always wondered though, before we go, is did you ever act in any movies?
You know what? No.
Why?
You know why? Honestly, I wanted to perfect the art of recording.
Okay.
Because I write and arrange, but now I literally engineer myself in the studio. And I've always wanted to do, television and things like that. But I also knew that if I was going to do it, it would take time where I really had to focus on that, which would take away from my music. I never got to accomplish everything musically that I wanted to. So until I could do that, I didn't want to look at something else and be trying to do too much. I regret it somewhat because there were opportunities for me, but I was so focused on music, and a lot of the recording and arranging fell on me. You know, the guys let me do that. So they were out doing movies and things like that, having fun. They were doing like, you know, a couple of straight to DVDs, but they were, you know, Tweet for a while he's out in Hollywood, so he was, you know, he's still doing stuff behind the scenes. But I regret it somewhat because I'm a character, and that's something that I've always, you know, thought about. But I also look at actors that want to sing that can't really sing, and I'm like, so
Sit down.
I know how they look at us. They do
exactly.
the same thing. Like I remember Samuel L. Jackson was one time like, you know, we've been in theater and struggling on trying to get this popping. But I've read for a few movies, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Like recently, I just did a reading for a movie. You know, Atlanta's like the mecca of, you know.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
So,
yeah.
But for me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm shy too. Like I can be in front of 1,000 people and it's easy, but you put me in front of 10 or 20 and you can see individual faces. I'm nervous.
Really?
So it becomes kind of hard.
Oh, okay.
Do I make Yolanda Adams a little bit?
You know what? I get everybody from under the sun. Some people say Yolanda Adams, and some people say this one just said something too. I don't know. You know, everybody has their own opinion of how I look. I don't know. I just say I'm my mama's daughter.
Well, that's a good thing, though. That's right.
But it's great talking to you, and I hope the next time you come anywhere to Chicago, you come hang with just Nekia Nichelle, okay?
I promise you I will, and I'll bring Next with me. Next to Nekia Nichelle.
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah. I love that.
And they're going to be here. They booked the show because, you know, I'm recently back in the group. We did Unsung.
Thank God.
Which was really big for us.
I'm glad you're back in the group.
Me too. But they're going to be here on the 22nd. I won't be with them, but I can set something up.
Oh, yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why won't you come?
Because it was booked before I was back in the group. If something changes, if the promoter's like, oh, where we can bring him, let's do it.
Yeah.
We work it out, that'll be cool. But if not, you know, they'll come and they'll do a great show.
Okay. Well, yeah. We'll have to all like just go out and just have a good time because I'm a very fun, silly girl. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm silly as all get out. I keep it real funny.
You know, I'm Midwest, so I love it out here. Let's do it.
All right, cool. Well, great talking to you.
You too.
All right, and we will see you next time as we're dancing too close, right?
You know you're sexy too. I like your attitude. I ain't even mad at you. You know the rest.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.